Since 1976, Delta has been working with semiconductor testing. We have one of the largest test facilities in Europe. Here we test digital, mixed signal, and high-frequency wafers and components for our international customers. Our cleanroom holds several automatic testers, 8-inch and 12-inch wafer probers, pick-and-place component handlers, and gravity component handlers. The facility is ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 certified. The semiconductor testing takes place in our Class 6 cleanroom. A cleanroom is a controlled environment in which the concentration of airborne particles is controlled to specified limits. This is done by controlling airflow rates and pressurization, temperature, and humidity. Preparing to work in the cleanroom, the operators put on anti-static lab coats and shoes. Before they enter, the operators ground themselves, connecting their anti-static wrist straps, thus removing any static charges that might damage the semiconductor devices. When silicone wafers or components arrive at Delta, we first inspect them according to our quality standard. All wafers are stored in particle-free nitrogen cabinets where the temperature and relative humidity are constantly controlled. This controlled environment slows down the oxidation process. Before we ship the wafers or components back to the customer or further on in the supply chain, they are inspected again to verify that no damage has been inflicted on the material. To test a wafer, you need a wafer prober, automatic test equipment, a probe card, and a customized test program. After loading of the test program, the wafer lot is placed in the wafer prober. The prober automatically selects one wafer at a time for testing. The wafer is placed on the chuck and held steady with vacuum. An advanced positioning system helps move the chuck around in a rapid and very accurate pattern below the probe card in order to test every single device on the wafer. The tester generates a wafer map that shows which devices are good and which are bad. This information is used later in the supply chain when the wafers are being further processed. Wafers intended for encapsulation are sent to our partners in Asia. After encapsulation, they are returned to Delta for component testing. To test components, you need a component handler, automatic test equipment, a customized load board, and a customized test program. Once the test program is loaded, the components are placed in the handler. The handler ensures that the device under test is moved to the correct position on the load board. The outcome of the component test is a separation of good and bad components. In order to protect wafers and components from humidity and electrostatic discharge, they are sealed under vacuum in anti-static bags. After test, the wafers or components are inspected once more before they are packaged and shipped by courier to the customer.